What's up, everyone? I'm Monica Clavijo, and this is the Bear Experiment podcast. Now, we haven't done a podcast in a minute. There have been a lot of things going on behind the scenes, but we're diving back in with a new episode with my very, very dear friend, Manny Elgarresta. What's up, bro?
You doing?
Thanks for hopping on. I called up Manny the other day because we've been doing the podcast now for about, what's it going on, like 2.5, 3 years?
Something like that.
That we started it from my little living room in Miami Lakes and over in in Miami out of mere depression, right? Something fun and exciting to do. Just talking about everything that was going on in life. And one of the episodes that we did early on was with you and Ruby,
Mm.
where we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with a big old bottle of
We had a
wine.
lot of wine. Yeah.
Ruby was screaming half the time, but nevertheless, we spoke a lot about the real estate market and what was happening. And Ruby herself was dealing with a lot of work issues. At the time, was she working at the time? I can't remember now. Was she working,
She was
Manny, or she was a
she was
teacher, substitute?
working, but they were paying her garbage, and well, which is basically everybody's situation in Miami, I think,
Right.
or
But
a lot
back
of people.
then it wasn't as bad as it is now. I think that
Oh,
now
that's
it's gotten a lot worse.
a lot worse.
Unless you're on OnlyFans, you ain't making any money right now in Miami, I feel.
No, regular people, normal human
Regular
beings. Yeah,
people with
yeah,
regular corporate jobs right now are not making ends meet unless it's two, three people in the household bulking their money together in order to be able to afford, the living compensations, right? That
yeah,
everybody in Miami is experiencing, because it's not just the housing market, right? It's everything else, right? The economy,
yeah.
food, cars, um going out, you grab a drink in Miami. When I was there, a drink was, 20, $25 for a
Still
drink.
is.
What is it today? 100 for
Yeah.
a drink?
Well, yeah. I mean, an average bar tab when you go out, like if you and your friend go out, just two people having a few drinks, like we used to, let's say, 20 years back, you'd have three or four drinks each, maybe a couple of apps, you know, $300 easy.
I feel like that was a lot. That's a lot for even that, that long ago. It wasn't that bad.
No,
It
no, no.
wasn't
It
that
wasn't. I
expensive.
mean, $300 now. I'm sorry. Back then, it would have been maybe like if you went to a really cool place, it'd be like maybe $100, and you'd be like,
Yeah,
God
and
damn,
and that's
I'm just
like
spending
and
a
that's
hundred
like
bucks.
cap. Oh, yeah, we're Capital Grilling it at that point, right? Like we're
Right,
going to True Lux, Capital Grill,
right,
Morton's. Yeah, yeah.
right. Now you go to any place in the Miami Beach or any place in Brickell, and you're in for 300 large, 300,
Crazy.
$300, 300 and something plus tip.
Yeah, right. Because now,
And then and now they're adding this beauty called the service charge, which is in addition to the
oh, I've
tip.
I've been reading about that. I haven't experienced that yet.
Oh yeah.
Here in Orlando, and I don't go out that much, right? Because I'm super busy between work and Sydney, my daughter, right? So, I haven't, but I've seen so many people posting about it. Like, what the hell is the service charge now? Like, they're getting charges for utensils and, right, like paper plates, takeout.
It's
They're
ridiculous.
charging you a fee for that now too. I'm like, shit. Have
Yeah.
things gotten that bad, or are owners, business owners, taking advantage of the situation right now? Because, right, like now you go and you pick up food at any fast food place, and when they turn around for you to pay, they're asking you for a tip. What am
Yeah,
I
that's
tipping you
crazy.
for?
No, I don't know. I don't know. For putting the food in a bag, I guess
And I
it's
get it.
ridiculous.
Listen, I'm not knocking that things are tough, that we're all looking for an extra dollar, but what the business owners are doing is you're throwing it on the consumer right now in order to be able to pay their employees, right?
Yeah.
Because
You
they're
can't you
giving.
can't it's not all the owners either because you can't blame the owners for trying to it's the owners of the real estate that I think are causing the biggest problem because rent, not just for because rent's out of control for regular people. Like I think the average salary in Miami or the greater Miami area, I think it's something like $70,000
That's insane.
for
That's
like
crazy that it's that little.
that it's that little because
Yeah.
the average one bedroom
Right, right.
is about 2,500 a month, and if you start doing some math, that's like over 44% of your gross pay
No,
before
no, no.
taxes.
It's unsustainable. That like the numbers are not mathing, right? Like the math ain't
No.
mathing right there. So in this episode that we did 2 years ago, it seems crazy to me that it was that long ago already that we were shooting this shit in my living room. We got into the whole real estate market and we had a lot of fun with it. We talked about the broadcast industry that we've been in our entire careers, and and I just reposted a clip from 2 years ago that just came up on my TikTok page, right?
Mhm.
And it's blown up, and it was talking about Miami rents and how unsustainable it is to be able to afford living right now, housing in that market. And everybody's just fighting in the comments. It's Trump, it's the Cubans, it's the politicians, it's the Russians, it's Iran. Like, listen, it's definitely greed at 100%. But my question to you: you live in Miami Beach. You've been living in a beautiful area in Miami Beach for how long now? Have you been there?
Almost 30 years.
So, and you bought your house at an incredible, right? Like, amount
Well,
of money, right? Back then.
it was a lot of money back then for us.
Right,
We,
right, right,
and,
exactly. But compared
and
to what it's worth now,
oh, it's stupid.
it's like
It's stupid.
cha-ching.
Yeah, no, it's great for me, one person, but if someone in our situation, like with our economic level, wanted to buy this house,
You
it would
can't.
just be a dream right now. No,
Right.
absolutely not.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, there's no way they could afford it. Not just that, because the taxes and the insurance,
So
insurance.
so let's talk about that a little bit. So you bought your house, for what an apartment costs now, a 1 2 bedroom apartment costs now in Kendall, let's say, right?
Right, about 400,
In a so area, because I was gonna tell you Hialeah, but Hialeah is out of control. Hialeah is out of control.
Yeah, this place was 400,000 30 years ago, which was a lot of money
Yeah,
for
yeah,
us.
yeah. No, no, you guys definitely dropped it down.
Yeah,
Dropped it down. You
yeah,
made a move. It was a smart financial move. You had a vision. You loved the area. You wanted
yeah.
to be
It was actually a stupid financial move at the time because we had nothing. Like they say, una mano adelante y otra atrás after buying the house. But
no, but you know what? You wanted to be away from all the crazy Cubans,
yes,
and you had the vision and the
right,
bolas to be able to do that, which a lot of people don't, right? Because back then there
no,
weren't a lot of Hispanics living on the beach, right? It was more, right?
no. It was all New
Americanos,
Yorkers.
Jews,
Everybody was New
right?
Yorkers.
Mm-hmm.
As a former New Yorker, I felt right at home.
Right, right. Yeah, but I'm sure your wife did not.
She did not. She did
Mm-hmm.
not.
I don't,
She
and honestly, I don't know if at that time, right? Like I would even also like if I was in your wife's shoes, also like if I would be comfortable with a transition, like moving to the beach like that. Like that's kind of like it was a ballsy move that you did back in the day, you know?
Well, yeah, okay.
But
It was
but
just
then again, but you said it. You were also from New York, so you had a different mindset, right? Different
yeah,
people. It was just a different upbringing for you.
yeah, and I felt perfectly fine not knowing any of my neighbors.
Right. 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 Yeah,
There's no sense of community here where we are.
yeah, I'm with you there.
Uh,
So yeah, so then the question is then, so you bought at a ridiculous price,
yeah,
which was for you at the time, and it's so like right now, right? Your house is worth what, $2 3 million? Like,
something up there. Yeah,
it's up there, right? And you
it's up
paid
there.
$400,000 for it. But then
Yeah, which
what's the
goes to show you how stupid the prices have gone up because it's not just here in this area. It's even the regular condominiums
No, no, no. But
on Miami Beach.
we'll dive into the condominiums. Let's talk about you,
Yeah,
that you have a home. You have a single
uh,
family
single
home.
family.
Across the street, we see Matt Damon, jogging from time to time. It's a fun area to go visit, right?
Yeah.
But then how have I'm not saying you in particular, but for example, some of the neighbors that I'm sure have had to move out from your area, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the
Everybody.
taxes and the insurances, right? At people that bought at a low cost like you did, having the vision
They're
that you did 30, 20 years ago,
they're all
like are
gone.
they able to, they're all gone, right?
They're all
They're not
gone.
able to sustain it.
No, they're not able to sustain because the taxes keep going up. The insurance. I mean, if for flood, hurricane, and homeowners insurance, it would be close to $30,000 a year just for the insurance.
That's insane. That's
It's bananas.
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was
bananas.
just watching a clip of a lady. I can't remember what area. It's somewhere here in the state of Florida, where she's been paying insurance forever, right? With and I think it was with State Farm, if I'm not mistaken. And she went away for the summer with her husband. They're retired. The home that they raised their children in or whatever. And while they were gone for like 2 months, and they asked one of their children to go check on the house that was alone for 2 months. I guess something happened with one of the toilets on the second floor, and it was just like flushing out water everywhere. One
Oh
of the
no.
house got destroyed, okay, because it was just getting soaked,
Flood.
and nobody was there to stop it. Long story short, when they go, they had to renew their insurance policy. And of
Mhm.
course, like who really sits down and reads the everything on the contract? You really don't.
Right.
But for flooding, which was exactly what happened to their house, and the immense amount of damage that they had, where basically they practically have to rebuild the house inside, they were only giving them $10,000 because their insurance policy premiums had changed. And they were notified via email, and they signed, like, most of us do. And, they're basically like in their 70s right now. And it's like, and they're left without a home, which was their retirement, right?
Yeah,
Because
they're done.
that's what they were
They're done.
sitting on.
Right. Yeah, that's not, that's well. I mean, the good news there is that probably the land is worth more than the house on top of the land,
It could be.
because
Yeah, but
every time they sell one of these houses in this area, the old ones they just get knocked down.
right,
They
right. And
put
they're
up
just
huge.
building from scratch. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, no, for sure. For sure. Yeah. You go in there every time. I mean, I haven't been in your area now for a minute, but yeah, every time I would, swing by there, it was just like a new mansion was being built across the street.
yeah, yeah. And
Super impressive.
they're 10,000 square foot monsters.
Que
Because
rico.
I know, nice, right?
I know, Manny, what are we doing wrong? Whoa. What am
We
I
don't sell.
doing wrong? You're already there.
Yeah, but I can't afford to be here. I don't go outside. It's too expensive.
So then that's the question, Manny. Like, who the hell who's buying these homes? Who's out there buying these properties right now?
Multi millionaires.
From where? From where?
Either most of them that are from here, it's real estate people, because that's who's made the most money over the last 20 years. These people are mega rich.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and across the street, which is on the water, I mean, you got people from all over the world. You know,
So what nationalities are you seeing the most that are moving into your neighborhood right now?
Mostly it's Americans, very very wealthy Americans, New Yorkers.
A lot of
Um,
right, a lot of New Yorkers definitely during COVID there was that spike that took place there as well.
yeah, yeah, because they come, and it's they can still work if they can get away with working in New York
Yeah.
and having their residency here. They save hundreds of
So
thousands.
much in taxes, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
because we don't have a state tax, and they save even 1% on sales tax,
Yeah, yeah.
even on
There
the beach.
but it's there's gonna be some changes that are definitely gonna take place because you see it happening already since COVID in 2020. Everybody went remote, everybody was working from home. It was a whole new lifestyle adjustment.
Mhm.
And that was when people, started relocating, right? Like, okay, this is my time to sell over here. Let me move to the state of Florida, right? It's warmer, funner weather. We got the beaches, it's freezing here.
Yeah,
Um, but now
I,
when,
I think I think it's changing a little bit now, because a lot of them are realizing, hey, wait a minute, there's no jobs down here.
no,
There's
no,
nowhere
and
to
there's
make
a and
money.
there's let's say that then they were able to relocate and it was a remote position, and now they're doing the back to work mandates, which is
Right.
happening more and more. So in our industry, like Univision, it's 5 days a week right now, Monday through Friday, right? And my understanding is that it's been going on like that for a couple of years now, right? So I don't know. I think in general
And the
market,
salaries haven't gone up, even though the price of gasoline has gone up, what, 50% since
yeah,
like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know what the I don't, I'm saying 50% because it feels like 50%. I don't know what the real number is, but it's
yeah.
a lot more money. I'm spending $100 to fill up a gas tank.
Oh
You
no,
know,
for sure, for sure, for sure. I don't drive a lot over here where I'm at unless I'm driving commuting over to Miami. And yeah, easily a whole tank of gas, in my cart's like $80, So if I had to commute like that all the time, I'd be spending what, close to $400 a month just on gas.
Yeah.
So yeah, it takes
Yeah.
a toll. So they're going to work. They're having to go to work. It's like you're saying the salaries are not more. If anything, they're
They're not
less
moving.
of what
They're
they're
going
paying
less.
right
Yeah.
now. They're
Because
going down because the
yeah.
industry in itself is just changing, and
Right.
people are just consuming media so differently. So it's also that much more time and effort and work, right, that you're having to put into your job, right?
Yeah.
Visiting clients, driving around, buying them things, taking them out to lunches and dinners. A lot of times paying it out of your own pocket because now they're not even expensing it. Manny, what happened to the business, Manny? What happened to the good
Cable,
times?
cable, man, cable. This was going to happen to like what happened to taxis with Uber.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
same thing. It's over. You know, it's
It's
over.
changed. You just had to be there at the breaking, right? The breaking ground
We
of,
got
of like
we
Uber
got lucky.
invest and make a killing and
We got lucky. We got in on the tail end.
yeah, yeah. No, we had a good time. It's what I
Yeah, we
explain to people in the business right now. When we were doing this, right? 20 years
yeah,
ago,
it was
shit,
fun.
15, 20 years ago, it was just like it was a ball. It was
Yeah,
like you would wake up and you were looking forward to go to work, right? You were just
yeah.
like,
Couldn't wait to
yes.
get there.
You
You
wanted to
know,
get there. We were working hard. We were playing hard. We
but we
were
were making
making a
big money.
shitload of money,
Yeah.
right? It was just like, man, we were ball. I remember I was like, man, I'm rich. My dad was like, coño, forget about college. You're making
Right.
more money than the entire family right now. And I was so young, and I don't make that kind of money anymore. I don't make that.
Yeah.
I don't make that level of money that I used to anymore. I'm going backwards. You
Way.
know.
Yeah, yeah, we're all going backwards in this
Hmm.
industry. I
Yeah.
mean, the only place, the only people moving forward around here are, I guess, finance bros and uh, medical, legal, medical.
And even with medical right now and AI, there's so many professionals that are coming out and they're explaining how like a lot of doctors, like for example, there was this one guy, I can't remember his name right. I can't remember his name, but he's like he's this doctor, right? Where he was saying a heart surgeon, to perform open heart like bypass surgery, they
Hmm.
would charge you 60,000, like that was their pay, right? Whatever the cost is overall, but their pay for the doctor was like 50, 60, $70,000. What they
Right.
would get paid to perform an open heart surgery that takes a couple of hours in one day.
Yeah.
Now, with the insurances and all of the big pharma, payola that they got going on, right? Like it's a
Let's call it
mafia.
just general corruption.
It's a mafia that they have going on there. You know what their pay is? But take a guess. Take a guess with what I just told you, the number. Take a guess what their pay is now from the insurances, right? For open
Oh,
heart surgery that can take them
I don't know, probably 15K or 10K. Yeah, something like that.
1,200 to $1,500.
That's crazy. But
I'm like,
but
that's
people are still
impossible.
paying $60,000.
Right. It's just the doctors aren't getting it. So no, so doctors don't want to work in that anymore. That's why so many of them, like, our dear friends, went into the plastic surgery side of the business because it was like there's no money in this shit anymore. I went
Right.
to
Well, and
school
that
my entire life.
yeah, and that also goes back again to what? Insurance, right? Which is the biggest problem Florida has.
The insurance. No, and
Insurance
the taxes
and the
también are out of
taxes. Yeah,
control.
yeah. Well, now we're going to get rid of them, right?
Well, when I see it, I'll believe it.
Right.
When I see it, I'll believe it. I don't know. I think
Yeah,
that's just a lot of fluff too, right? With DeSantis
yeah,
and everything like that. But then let's get now into the whole, condo side of the real estate in Miami, right? And in the market. So, any little hole in the wall in the beach overlooking the ocean is costing you what?
three,
500,
four.
600?
No, no. It depends. In the big buildings, yeah, 400, 500.
Mm-hmm. But
In the ones that are on the water, but
right.
there's plenty of like right block off the water or across the
Where
street,
you can
like
get them
on the
for
other
like
side.
250, $300,000, right?
350, 350 for a
Okay,
two
but
bed. For a
then
two
the
bed.
question is association. I
A
was looking
thousand
at
dollars
one the other
minimum.
day. No, no, no. It was $2,500
Oh yeah.
association. It wasn't in the beach though, it was in Aventura. Pero $2,500 association. Then add to it all the assessments that you're constantly getting, right?
Oh
From
yeah.
all the buildings and all the new laws and regulations after the collapse in Surfside, right? So then
Oh
you
yeah.
have all the assessments that they added to it. Add the taxes. So if I'm coming in and I'm buying this condo, right, for $300,000,
Now you're paying
and
about
I have a
five.
mortgage of what, $2,000 a month, let's say, right?
Yeah.
With everything else that I'm adding to it, like where's the value in me having to pay $6,000 a month to live in a little two-bedroom apartment on
And
the
don't forget
beach?
the $4,000 or $5,000 in taxes, property taxes,
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
top of everything else. And you're right, because like if you're in one of those luxury condos, two anywhere between two and $5,000 a month in condo fees.
Now, if you have the money, right? Like I can
Oh
certainly
yeah.
see the value in that because there's so many amenities and it's like you
Right.
don't have to leave your place. You have the beach, you have the gym, you have the pool, you have the sauna, you have
Yeah, you're
restaurants in the
shooting
building.
your OnlyFans inside your condo.
Yeah, nobody's watching you, you know? You can go to you can
Well, you're
go to the
hoping plenty of
gym.
people are.
Well, but you don't want everybody to know you're an OnlyFans model. You got to keep that on the DL sometimes, right? It's your
Yeah,
reputation on the line.
it's hard. It's hard because when you go and you see them all sitting around the pool in the buildings, you're like,
No, no,
oh
but
look.
okay, definitely. Okay, those are the kinds of like, because that's the thing. You see all of these influencers that are coming on, social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and they're just like, oh, this is my $20,000 a month condo that I'm renting, and this is
Right.
my Lamborghini, and this is my, we're going out for tonight, and the tab is $3,000, and you're like, what the hell are these, 20-year-olds doing for a living?
Well, they're not. I mean, most of it's fake. They're renting most of those things, and
Yeah.
and they're getting comped on most of those dinners.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's starting to change too because I on the show that I do here for Channel 10, we meet a lot of restaurateurs, and they're all saying we don't let influencers come in anymore because it's just a ripoff. You
No,
know,
y también like the way that they act, right? Like a lot of these influencers think that they're freaking, I don't know, Madonna,
right,
back in her glory days, and they're going in a restaurant and they're demanding this level of service and free food and
right.
attention, and then the restaurant owner is like, "No, I'm not doing it." So they go purposely online and give them a bad review then to fuck them over. And then you're just like, what's happening here? So I would stay away from them also. And what they're charging, because they're charging you like $5,000, $10,000 y
Oh yeah,
cuidado, right? With
yeah, yeah,
for one post because they have 1 million followers. But out of those
yeah.
followers, who's really paying attention to where you're going to eat? Are they really
They,
following you and going to eat at the same restaurant?
they might have 1 million followers, but how many views do they have on top of that?
Right. Right.
And are those million followers real or bots?
Ah, that's a good point. That is a good point, right? Yeah.
Who
And I guess you
knows?
can tell then by the level of comments, right? That they're getting also and feedback on the post that they're getting.
Right.
Right. Like how organic is that really happening or are you paying for this? Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. That's a really
Yeah.
good point. So then
Besides,
how much vacancy are you seeing then when you drive by the beach, i.e. like on Ocean Drive and stuff like that? Are there like a shitload of units for vacant right now?
no,
They're
no.
rented?
They seem to be rented now. You look at the skyline at night, like at 9 p.m. when most people should have their lights on, and I would say 70% of those buildings are dark.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
But that's
unless the owners, because that's what I'm saying. If I go and I buy this right now as a second property, right? I want a little apartment on the beach, que rico. I can go on the weekend. Let me rent it out because I'm not using it right now, right? I'm leaving, because I'm rolling in the dough like that. I'm leaving to Argentina for the summer. Let me rent it out. At that point, like for how much are you having to rent out that apartment? You're taking a hit for sure because of all of everything that you're having to pay out of pocket for it. Even if
that's
you
why.
have a paid off condo,
Yeah,
you're
that's
you're,
why
you're still
rents
going to take a hit on rent.
the rents are so high because just to break even, you got to charge 3,500 bucks a month. Otherwise, you're losing money, and somebody's in your apartment messing it up.
That's another
Because
thing.
after somebody's there for a couple of years, you got to go in, you got to spend, a couple $1,000 refurbishing the place.
I have a friend who has a vacant apartment. She has it furnished and everything, but she never goes. She's older. and it's like on 55th and Collins. Beautiful place. The building is everything is state of the art, brand new. She never goes, and I'm like, why don't you rent it out? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Sorry about that.
Oh, I thought you had a fire going on in your house, man. Yeah, I go, shit, I hope you have insurance.
Nope.
And I'm always telling her, like, why don't you rent out your unit, And she's like, no, because they're gonna mess it up. And
Yeah.
so
You don't want
her
the hassle.
association between association and assessments, she's
Yeah.
at about $2,500 a month. I'm not adding taxes. Yeah, the unit is paid off, but it's like it's vacant. Nobody's using it. What like that's just a like how much money are you going to make on that property at this point when you go sell it tomorrow? It just doesn't you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense for me unless you just have so much money you just don't care. You're just like it is what it is like.
Yeah, at that, like for that particular case, I'd be like, why do you even have it if you're not using it? And
Yeah.
not renting it and not using it.
Yeah,
At
get some
least if
yeah,
you rent it, it doesn't cost you anything, and
that's
as
what
the
that
value.
see yeah, at that point I see the value in that, right? It's like investment, it's a place that maybe in the future I can go into when I retire and I'm older and I want to be on the beach.
Right.
Should
But
you
you
want
said
to
it. You said it when you said that if you're from Argentina or whatever, and that's why a lot of people
Argentina.
a lot of South Americans and Mexicans and other people who live in countries that don't necessarily have political stability,
Mm-hmm.
they buy property here
Right. That's a good
because
point.
it's a store of cash. Now they have $400,000 that isn't being looked at too closely, right? And they can that's 400 grand that they're keeping that isn't in the bank. And then on top of that, if they want to, if they're really affluent, they'll put $2 or $3 million worth of art inside those apartments,
También. También. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then
And they keep it
that's how
here.
they take care of their money that way.
I know
You know,
that from what I'm seeing, I go to Miami, pretty often, I think, more often than I want to, to visit my mom. And, the rents in Hialeah for an efficiency, it's a joke. It's like they're asking
yeah.
for $2,000 for the kitchen. The kitchen. There's this girl that I follow on TikTok. She's funny as shit. Una cubana. And she's always making fun of like all these postings where people are renting out all these efficiencies. Like they're literally making a fake kitchen outside of the front of the efficiency, not even inside the property, right?
My
So,
God.
con el calor y el vapor, dale a cocinar afuera los chícharos para que se te metan las lagartijas, That it's like, who the hell is going to pay this much money for this? Like, what are you going to get? An immigrant that it's
What's
like undocumented that has nowhere else to go?
what's the option? Go to Brickell and pay 4,000.
No, but I just give it that there's gotta be an apartment that you can find in Hialeah for like at least $2,500 a month. At least. I mean,
Well, yeah, but where is it?
you might have a couple hookers next door, but
Hey, whatever. Hopefully, they have a heart of gold, right?
yeah, right? Listen, you can't judge. No, no, it's out of control. It's out of control. So coming over here to the 407, yeah, the rents are a little bit less expensive, pero no te creas, it's not that big of a difference. You get a little more for your money, I feel, here as far as like square footage and, still in the real estate market. But it's super expensive, and to go out to eat here también, this is a very travel kind of
Touristy, yeah. Well,
tourist kind of area because of all the theme parks. So you go to any restaurant and it's super expensive to go eat anywhere out here also. So, and
you can go to.
everybody from Miami that can't afford Miami has already begun to make the influx, right, to a bigger kind of like metropolitan cities like Orlando now.
Yeah.
So esto está allá ahorita que you can't live here either because it's super packed.
But you can drive a little bit over to Kissimmee and find the $8 gin and tonics, can't you?
I have yet to really go to Kissimmee, and I'm by Maitland, right? So Kissimmee for me is close to an hour away. Yeah,
Mm.
so like for me to actually go over there, I went to buy some perfumes over there once, whatever, for the whole perfume collection that we have going on, and I found a perfume distributor in that area. But yeah, Kissimmee is like saying Hialeah, right? You can get a
Yeah,
little more for them, but you're far away from everything also. So, who the hell? And traffic, you ain't seen traffic till you see traffic on the I-4 here in Orlando.
I hear it's
Okay? Because
legendary.
on top of all the
What's the shame over
people that live here, right? You then have a shitload of tourists that don't know how to drive and they're coming from other countries, right? That they're coming over here and they're lost, right? Because you don't know the exits to take. So it's scary. You got to be paying attention when you're driving on that I-4.
here? Yeah, other countries, forget about it. Just other parts of the state, you get lost in that place.
Cubans. Bring some
That
Cubans.
place is crazy.
Bring some Cubans and Puerto Ricans up here. Let's go. You can see. You can see. You can see some
That'll
bad
fix
driving.
it. That'll fix it.
Hi. Yeah, but it's just super interesting to me. Like, how are people able to survive in Miami these days that haven't had the opportunity like you did, to buy
I don't know.
something like what I did too, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
I
have a
don't know how
house
they
on the
do it.
beach, but I have an apartment in Hialeah, and my mom is there, and my brother's there, right? So that for like, I don't know where my mom would be if I didn't have that place, if I didn't
She would
have the
be in
vision
Miami.
to buy that in a short sale. Because right now, that condo, that's falling apart, by the way, because it's falling apart. It's, I would imagine that eventually they're going to have to knock down that building. They're going
Right,
to have
and
to.
and everybody eventually who's a normal person is going to have to leave because it doesn't make any sense.
You can't pay you. Where do you work, right? So then that's what happens, right? So then you have, five,
Leave.
six people living in an apartment, right, or in
That's
an
how it
efficiency
works.
in order to be able to sustain all the payments, right? To because then add the light bill, right? Like everything else. It's like I know that we're having a pity party conversation here, but it's the reality of what a lot of people are living. Uh,
Yeah.
you, I am telling you that I am doing it all by myself here with a daughter. And making a lot less money than what I used to make. Okay. And I don't know how I do it. I think I'm a little bit of a MacGyver. I really do because I'm just like, how the hell do I make ends meet? You know what? Take a little bit from here, grab it from here, and I don't know. I've always been a penny pincher. It's instilled in me as an immigrant, right? Coming over here and my parents, like, don't throw it away. Somebody's going to need it one day that's going to come from Cuba. So I've
Yeah.
always kind of had that
Or
in
now.
in my program. Yeah, right. And I think that that's why I've been able to kind of like sustain myself right now so much because the frugalness that I have in my DNA, right? So because
Yeah.
if not, I don't know how you could do it. I really don't. You can't. You can't sustain a lifestyle. You cannot sustain a lifestyle unless it's a bunch of people. Or what would you say the minimum salary a person would need in Miami to be able to survive? But let's say an average little house, like 3 bedroom, 3 2 in, let's talk
Oh,
Hialeah.
three
How
bedrooms, 200, 200 plus, 200 plus, easy.
household income of 200
Household
plus?
income, 225 to for a
To be
three
able
bedroom.
to be able to enjoy life, right? To not
Yeah.
be house
To
poor.
not be like this all
Right.
the
To
time.
not be house poor, that you can't leave your house for anything because you don't have money to put gas in your car.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people live like that too, right? Or they have so much credit card debt because that's what they're living off, and then they just don't pay
That's
off the credit cards.
yeah, the fake it till you make it crowd is not going to make it. They're just going to keep faking it until it's done.
We
you
know
know,
we know a lot of those MFers from
we
the
sure
industry
do.
too, right? Like, oh, let me get the badass car, and it's like you can't afford it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't get the S class. No, you know,
Don't do it.
you
Look for
can't
the used
afford it.
vehicle. As
Yeah.
long as it looks good, it's got AC, and you know what? You can put in a radio for use your phone.
Sing.
Sing to yourself, right? Entertain yourself. You got plenty of traffic, right? Like entertain yourself with the people there. No, listen, I'm not, I think about it sometimes about, leaving because it was a huge, move to for me to
You did the
finally
right thing.
have the bolas to
Yeah.
to leave, right? My family because it's just, it's still hard. It was still a difficult decision for me to do it, but a lot of it was because of the job market and our industry and how, you know,
And how it doesn't exist.
how difficult it's got because you know what? There is a value. We had a meeting at work the other day And it was a valid conversation because there's still a value in the audience that like certain TV stations and radio stations carry, because you still have those loyal listeners,
Yeah.
right, that are tuning in, and they'll follow a DJ or they'll follow a talent that's on the air, right, just to hear the show and the dynamic of the show, like Enrique Santos in Miami. He's got a very large, loyal audience that loves to listen to him. And now they have Dayanara Torres, la ex mujer de Mark Anthony.
Oh, okay.
She's on the
I don't
show
know.
with him now. And, you would think that she would suck. She's actually, I've listened to them a couple of times. They have a good chemistry together. And she's actually pretty and sharp, So I think she's kind of like a little package deal. But yeah,
But
I think she's been a great compliment for that show. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's still the people that are tuning in, so you do have a value as an advertiser, right? To reach that audience. That's
absolutely, yeah,
you
yeah. It's
know
still there. It's just nowhere near what it used to
what it
be.
used to be, right? That it was like that. Like, oh, you want to buy me? Let's go. It's Univision. It's me or nobody. Now it's like pretty much anybody can sell it,
Now
right?
it's pretty much anybody. But now it's pretty much anybody. But no. But Univision, Telemundo, and the radio stations, and even the TV stations still have uh, power. It just isn't with the same, and the audience is not, as far as I know. I don't know. You probably know better than I do if the audience is actually growing. I don't think it is.
So the audience is not growing, right? Because the audience is diluting. It's what's happening because of the way that everybody's consuming media now. So people are using these devices, right, more than anything else to, right? Like this is my TV set.
Right.
Literally, this is my TV set. Like I can't, like, for me to put on my living room TV or my bedroom TV, I have to literally be like, let me turn it on and let me put on a movie. And I tend to still go back to my phone while the movie's on, right? Because I'm so addicted to this thing. And it's just like, oh, let me check my emails. Let me get on, social media. Let me see if I've gotten any, messages or whatever. And
Right.
even just consuming the news, right? Like this is what we're doing. People are streaming music now more than ever, right? You got,
Yeah.
the Odyssey app, and you can basically get any station on the Odyssey app. So you go in there and you're like, I want to listen to George Michael, blah, blah, blah. And it's like Spotify, right? You just get the same music and it's free. And it's free, right?
It's like radio used to be.
Right. So why would you want to get on, right? And be
Right.
interrupted by different commercials, right? Like these 5, 6, 8 minute breaks sometimes, right? And so I get the logic, but there's still a value, but it's definitely changing. So it'll be interesting to see where this medium will end up within the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 years. What's your vision with that?
I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be retired and
Well,
die.
that's not what I asked you.
I don't know. I see. I think the trend, there is a little bit of a pushback starting now, where people are noticing that now they don't own anything, and that you can, if you're on Netflix or Sony or whatever you name your streaming service, and you buy a movie, right, because you like the movie and you want to watch it a few times, a couple 3 years down the line they'll be
It's
like,
not, you
oh,
don't have it anymore.
yeah, you don't have it, but I thought I bought it. I thought it was mine. No,
Yeah.
it's not. What? And that's one. What if you bought 100 movies?
I did that. I did that with, I guess, when I had cable back in Miami in the apartment there.
Mhm.
I did that with a couple of movies for Sydney, and yeah, and then I canceled cable because I was paying like $200 a month for something that I never watched,
And now it's gone.
and I don't have the movie. So, but then, so what do we do then? We go back to buying DVDs?
That's what's happening. People are starting, or DVDs, or the file, buying the file and putting it on a drive.
También.
Something physical that you own, that is
Something
yours.
that you own, right? Like it's yours. You're right. Yeah, you're
Right?
right. Because then
People are
at that
starting to notice. Wait a minute, all these corporations are going to decide what I own, or that I don't own anything, and
No,
anything I
and
want.
now everything is a subscription. That's where the money's at, right? Like all
Right.
these car washes, right? Like, dude, that is where you make a killing. Car washes, right? Laundry mats, like they're making a
Yeah.
killing for a reason because everybody is paying. Like, I just canceled my Prime subscription. First of all, I think Jeff Bezos is a douchebag. And, I was just like, why am I paying for Prime? I'm not really utilizing it the way that I used to for delivery, right? Because then I did it more like, oh, for the shipping. Um,
Yeah,
the shipping and handling that you save with whatever it was. It was like
a
$15 a
lot of
month.
money. Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I'm not using it. Like, added up, it was like 200 and something dollars a year for like if I used it 3 times. So it was like $15 in shipping and handling that I was actually paying when I was utilizing it, and I never even saw used it for watching movies. I when I stream Netflix, right? Like that's kind of like my to go for everything. So I was like, why am I paying for this? So I started kind of like, because there's a subscription for everything. Now there is a new refrigerator that's coming in the market after, I think it was like 2027. I think it's next year. That in order for you to use the ice maker on the refrigerator door, you have to
Hmm.
pay a subscription. If not, you have to make your own ice.
That's crazy.
I don't know how much truth there is to that, but it was
I
something
mean,
that I actually read. And I was like, I actually believe that that is 100% of a possibility with the way that everything is headed.
that's the thing. It could make, let's say it's not true, but it's plausible because of what we're going through. I
Yeah.
mean, there what was it, Toyota or BMW that tried to make seat warmers a subscription at $8, $8 a month?
Oh, really? I didn't know about that one.
Yeah. Now, yeah, BMW. So I think Toyota tried to do it. That you would have to, if you had the features in your car, you wanted them to work, you had to pay whatever a month for. I forget which feature it was, but that's ridiculous. After you pay $70,000 for a car, now on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, they want you to, and I get if the subscription's for maybe like I don't know, satellite radio or something like
Navigation services or
that.
something like that. Yeah, yeah.
But for a feature on your car
No, that's
that you
crazy.
paid
Light
for,
that bitch on fire and warm your ass up, right? It's like, get
exactly,
out of
that's
here.
bananas. But that's what and people are starting to push back now. Not enough, I think, but hopefully that'll do something. I don't know. It makes me want to move to a cabin in the woods.
Oh man, that's where I'm headed, Manny. It's happening. I'm setting myself up for that. I was watching this guru talking the other day, and he was like, "I'm gonna ask you one time. When I say this, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Beach or mountains?" I was like, "Mountains, mountains, mountains. Fuck the beach. It's too hot. I want mountains. I want peace. I want land. I want chickens. I want a horse. I don't know, dogs."
I don't want this.
No,
This.
listen, I don't mind this because I feel like I'm learning how to finally make money with this,
Well,
you
yeah,
know? So, and it's kind of like a creative outlet. I do use it to, not all the time, right? Like sometimes I do use it to consume trash, right? Because we all like chisme de vez en cuando, but and you can kind of get stuck into the scrolling. You probably don't do that, but man, I get into TikTok sometimes and looking for guests for the podcast, especially with like Hispanic guests. When
yeah.
I follow,
TikTok is good for that.
oh my God, like you're just like, man, this is why Cubans have such a bad name, or Puerto Ricans have such a bad name, because you're just like, ¿qué es esta chusmería por tu madre? Like, what is happening here? And then if I put that, if I create an episode with that, it blows up, right? Because that's what people want to
Yeah,
watch. People want to
that's what
watch,
people want.
oh, who cheated on who fought with who stole money from who. That's what people want to hear. They don't want to know about finances and stocks, right? Money market accounts. No, people don't care about that.
No, nobody
But
wants to know how to make better rice. No, they just want to.
no, but you've always been great. You and Leo have always been like amazing, financially with just I mean, your wife is a CFO and shit, so I mean, she better know what she's doing. But also you, right? Like even when we were in the business and you made fun of me because I did get the BMW and the boat and the house.
What are you doing? Throwing money away.
Man, I
Get a
wanted to punch
401k.
you in the face every time you were like, "Are you going to buy a boat? Are you going to buy another
Yeah,
boat?"
on the
I was like,
boat.
Manny, I don't
What
want
are
to
you doing
talk
on the
about that
boat?
anymore. It was a mistake.
It was.
It was a big
But you
mistake.
can't forget about it. You can't forget about it. You have
No,
to
but I'll
remember
ne
that.
I'll never make that same mistake again, right? I made that mistake one time in my life, and I'll never make that same mistake again because it was such a big financial hit that I got, and it took me a really, really, really long time to get back on my feet.
I know.
So now I'm like extra careful about everything, where it's like sometimes I feel like, am I a little too much now, right?
Nope. Nope, you're not. When you feel you're a little too careful, that's just right.
then that I'm doing the right thing, right? And
Yeah.
listen, again, like I splurge when I want to, right? Like I just map it out, right? Like okay, sit like my birthday, I'm gonna be 50 next week.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So
Nobody believes
I was telling Sydney, I was like, let's go celebrate. Let's go to Fleming's, which is like a capital. Well, Fleming's. There's Fleming's in Miami.
that. Yeah, we got one. We got one down here.
Yeah, and I was like, let's go to Fleming's. It's my big 5-0. Let's go, let's tear it down. Let's go over there and have a big nice steak.
Yeah.
I also have $100 gift certificate. You know what I mean? That's why I'm going to Fleming's.
I was gonna say, but Outback is good too.
Oh no, that's our stomping grounds. There's one right across the street from where we live. That's where we go all the time. We go, she eats her wings, I have my steak, and the bill is $70. It's a beautiful place.
My wife and I have this thing that we do. We call it the best of the worst. That's what we do. The best of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, instead of going to like
Capital
the
Grill or whatever.
Capital Grill, you're like, okay, so at Roadhouse, what's the best steak at Roadhouse?
That's
That's a
right.
$30 steak,
And you
and
know
it's
what?
pretty good.
Yes, you go to Capital Grill. It is true. The steak is a little more tender,
Yeah,
right? The experience is nicer.
yeah, but
But are you gonna get full? Are you gonna enjoy the meal? They have
yeah,
dessert, they have wine. Like run with it, bro.
they got the same shit at Roadhouse,
Yeah.
and it
And you
costs
can
you.
probably overindulge a lot more than if you went to a Capital Grill at that point, right?
Well, I
Because
mean,
it's so much cheaper.
and after the third glass of wine, who cares if it's
Ooh,
Rianiti?
that's what I'm saying. Like after the third glass of wine, are you really tasting the steak? You're
You're
probably not
not.
even eating the steak at that point because you're getting drunk at this point, right? You're just like, let's get another bottle. Let's go. Let's
And
run with
everybody
it.
starts with a cocktail anyway. So after you've
You
had the
see, that's what I miss in the business. Those were the good old days, man. Now it's like, okay, we're going to lunch. And it's like you can't even you like you're just like which menu am I ordering from? Is
yeah,
there a
right.
special do I
Is there
eat? Do I eat or do I say I'm not hungry so that the client only eats? And it's
is
just
there a
like
lunch special? Is there a salad I can order?
gee, no, no, a salad is also like overpriced now, right? So it's just like an appetizer, y yeah, chifla. I don't know. It was just I like I said I talk about it especially with the people here because I don't think they experienced what we did in Miami. It was a different monster where we were at.
That was
And it
that was
was just so much fun. And I also pissed so much money away because of all the fun that we had that I'm like, man, if I was just like a little bit smarter with my finance, I wouldn't be working right now. I would be just sitting on income coming in. If I wanted to work, I would. And I would be able to do this,
I tried
for
to tell you.
fun. What did you say?
I tried to tell you.
Oh, whatever, Manny. Yeah, yeah.
That's why I
Let's
shit on you when you were buying that boat. The whole time you're buying that boat, I was like giving you shit
I
about
don't
it.
know. I don't know, Manny. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that. Really, it was what a disaster. But anyway,
That's all right.
hey, listen, we had a lot of fun on the boat from time to time. So
Did I? I never even went on the boat. I don't think.
no,
I never even
I
saw the
don't think
boat.
you ever went on the boat. Yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard about the boat.
yeah. It was with a defunto. Remember a defunto?
What was the boat called? The Big Mistake. What was
The very, 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 very big mistake. Listen, I've made a lot of mistakes. That's all I can tell you.
we've all made mistakes. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I've made a lot of mistakes, and that's why like now moving forward, it's kind of like, okay, let's try to keep a steady road as best we can, right? Let's keep
Yeah.
let's fall forward now, not backwards, forward.
And I can't talk too much shit about the boat because pizzerias. You know,
Yeah, but at least you had a vision there, right? You were trying to get into, right? You were
some
opening up a
vision.
company. You had I mean, why you would get into the restaurant business is beyond me, but
Exactly.
at least you had a vision and it was an idea where you were trying to develop, right? Like something that made money for you.
Yeah. I should have bought a
Um,
Ferrari. I would have had more fun, and at least there would have been some money left over when I sold it.
I agreed. I agree. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens within the next 3 years and the lifespan. They just opened up here a Puerto Rican station. It's like a mega TV here
Hmm.
in the 407, which is great because this is filled with aquí hay más puertorriqueño que cubano.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though that's very fast fastly
Is it
changing
changing?
now. Yeah, of course, because all the Cubans are coming over here because they can't afford Miami.
That's crazy. I thought Puerto Ricans owned Orlando.
They pretty much did at one point, and there's still more Puerto Ricans, right? Like you hear a nene in every corner, but it's you definitely see the influx of Cubans coming in more. So it'll the rents are going up, right? Like the traffic, everything, because everybody's coming over here. But then with that happening, people are going to keep going north. So I feel bad for all those white people in like, Virginia, 'cause you're going to have a lot of Hispanics
Get
out there
ready.
soon.
Just go to Pigeon Forge. That's what it's going to be like.
Oh, I know, right? It used to be so nice to go over there, and now it's like you go over there, you bump into everybody that you know from Miami because they're all there.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's one of the things that's going to happen is when as the licenses get cheaper because
Mm.
they're not available, you're going to have ethnic minorities making them you know the station for them to see home. So places where you have like a big Korean community, you'll have a Korean station. You know,
And I think that those stations,
that's
because
not bad.
even with us, right, when we were with Mega TV, which was such a niche, with a Cuban community over there in Miami, like everybody's like, "Are you crazy?" Right? Because we came from such a big station, Univision, right? Like, oh my God, it's a monster, and we're going to Mega TV, and that was probably one of the smartest career moves I've ever made, right? Because it was just like you just had that captive audience at that point where, they were tuned in and they loved las telenovelas y Maria Vida and, you
Plus,
know,
big, small pond, bigger fish.
yeah, yeah.
It was good for us. But yeah, we got a lot of experience. Launching a TV station is not easy.
No, it's not. It's not. But we had good leadership too. I think that's also what helped us a lot. Definitely between, right, like Tommy and Olga. Like
Yeah,
they were just like the dream team to be working for, And we had a strong group, right? We were so united. You also don't see that anymore, right? Like those strong ties with your work people, right? With your office mates, right? Especially in
you
corporate
don't,
America.
especially not in TV. But that's one of the reasons I'm still at Channel 10, and I'm going on my eighth year.
Because of that.
It's because of that, because of the strong team that's there.
Yeah, yeah. I and I
Everybody watches everybody's back.
And I
That
and
kind
I have to say that is one of the reasons because I am, as we both are, right? Like this business is kind of like, oh, I almost want to get out and do something else,
of. Oh
but
man,
yeah, but then it's like starting all over, right? Like, do you really want to do that at this stage in the game? And one of the things that keeps me here too is that like I like the people here in this market, right? For the radio station that I'm with, like we have each other's back, It's such a tight group
yeah,
that you're just like, man, let me value this for as long as I can
it
keep it,
has
right?
value. It
Right.
has value. Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
because
It does because it's you can tell, hey, listen, I'm having a personal issue, whatever. Hey, you're going through some stuff. How can I jump in and help? Right? Like it's just a different dynamic. In
yeah.
Miami, it was like sink or swim, right? Like, hey, what do you
Oh,
mean?
you're
You're
going through some
sick?
shit.
Let me try to take your account.
Exactly. Good. Fuck you.
Oh my God. A friend of ours, without naming names, she's going back as a manager to one of the big players in the market, and I'm just like, God bless your soul. God, you're gonna be a manager? Are you
Enjoy those
crazy?
6 months.
That
Because that's how long. That's what happens.
they
Everybody,
hire
everybody's
you.
coming for the manager.
I hope for her sake that doesn't happen, because but yeah, that's the nature of the beast now because everybody, right? Like people are there for 6 months, a year, and they're like, get out next.
Yeah.
And that's
Next.
another thing, right? So they say that there's no work in the broadcast industry, but yes, there is because nobody wants to work that has any kind of value anymore in the industry because it's gone to shit. So
Well,
if you
because
go
it's
and you
hard
knock
work.
on doors and you go to every other TV or
Yeah.
radio station, they'll hire you. It's
Oh,
just,
sure.
do you want to
They'll
deal with
hire
it?
you.
Do you want to deal
They'll
with the
hire you for
bullshit?
$40,000 a year,
True.
and then you have to work the same way when you were making
What do you
$120,000 a year.
mean? You're getting a salary?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. But that's the thing is the work hasn't changed. If anything, it's more work now
Yeah.
to keep because now you have to convince businesses that they have to come to radio or TV.
Right,
They're
right.
like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
I could just pay an influencer $500.
it's a whole nother pitch, right? No, 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 for sure, for sure.
You
I
know,
don't know, Manny. We'll see what happens, I know that you're, 2 seconds away from heading out of Miami as well. I
super
can't wait for
popular.
you to leave.
You know,
And
that's
you tell me how España is when you're there. I love that you're making that move. You've always been ahead of the curve, and anything that you guys are doing. And
to the
I
mountains.
mm,
It's
to
in
the
the
what?
mountains.
That's true.
The
That's
mountains
true.
where you want to go.
Yeah. Hey, listen, when Sydney gets older, I would be totally open to going to another country also. By that time, my mom,
Yeah.
she's most likely not going to be around anymore, right? She's a lot older, that's the only but yeah, and my kid will be, she'll be married and have her life together, and at that point it's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm out, like I'll come visit. You can go visit over there, but I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live like under this stress and this pressure as I get older, right? Like when you're young, it's different, right? You have different
Oh
energy.
yeah.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's where we get into the health aspect of it too.
Oh no, and that's another thing because that's a lot. That's one of the main reasons. Also, so Miami, right? The affordability with the market, right? With the housing market, but then also people need to maintain like any job because health insurance and health coverage is so out of control right now.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to have some kind of coverage, which is bullshit because you're still paying all these co-payments and
And minimum out of pocket of like
yeah. Yeah.
$4,000. It's like, so what the hell am I paying insurance for? And if sometimes you do the if you don't have like a chronic condition, you do the
Right.
math. You do the math. You're like, wait a minute. If I have to pay $4,000 out of pocket and $1,000 a month in insurance,
And that's
what am
what
I?
it costs, and that's what you're looking at, right? Like
Yeah,
if you work for yourself and you have to have your own health insurance, you're looking at a minimum on a cheap end, like what, 400 or 500 bucks for a
four or five
shitty ass
bucks
coverage.
for shitty coverage.
Right.
That's an additional 5,000 out of pocket before it kicks in.
Right, right. So
You
if you
know,
want anything of somewhat value, you're looking at about $1,000, $1,200 a month. That now
right.
you're paying for something that you may or may not need.
Right. Right. But you start doing the math where you call up the hospital and you're like, hey, I need I don't know, whatever scan, blah, blah. They're like, it's 600 bucks. Okay, let's go.
That's the thing. Yeah, like there was this doctor, he was talking about that. He's like, I made the decision. He has his own practice. And he goes, I made the decision to not have health insurance for my family and just pay per visit for and he has young kids too. Pay
Right.
for the visits for the doctor, the pediatrician or whatever, the gynecologist, like the must-haves, right? Like your
Right.
dental once a year, twice a year, whatever it is. And then there's an insurance that you can pay for 2 to 3 months. It's like a short-term insurance. And you pay that in case of a medical emergency. At that point, you get into a car accident, right? You need
Right.
surgery, right? Your appendix burst. Okay, now we have the short-term insurance, and then that's how you pay for it. And it
Right.
differs depending on the year, right? Whatever the premiums are. And he's like, it's so much more affordable than for me having to pay for he had like 3 kids and his wife who didn't work. And it
Right.
was just like, this is a lot cheaper than what I was doing when I was paying insurance that I basically wasn't
Of
using.
course. And the value's there. And then by the same token, there's doctors who now have a sign in their office that says, I don't carry malpractice insurance.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And because malpractice insurance is one of the reasons why it's not worth it for doctors to be doctors anymore. Because the guy's making 150, $200,000 a year, which you're like, yeah, great, but he's also paying $80,000 a year in malpractice insurance.
Right.
So, it's not worth it to them.
Ah, that's a good point.
So they're like, don't come in here trying to sue me because I ain't got money.
So if I kill you, you ain't getting any money from
You
my
ain't
practice.
getting any money. But
I
that's kind of the way it used to be. I mean, the doctor was successful because he didn't kill people.
Right, right.
You
You would
know,
hope. You would hope at least, right?
you
That
would
you go to a
hope.
doctor that doesn't kill you.
Yeah,
Hi,
but we
Manny.
got.
What a depressing conversation this has turned into. This was supposed to be about the Miami market and how we're gonna make a killing and what's the right strategy and
Well,
money moves to take now. And
let's do
we
this.
like
Here's what
I'm
we're gonna do.
depressed. I'm depressed.
Here's what
Like
we're
I
gonna do.
need I need
This is part one. Part two is all right. Now, how do we fix all that? How do we live within all that? And how do
All
we
right,
get over?
let's do that. Okay, yeah. Let's lift up this conversation a little bit, right? This doomsday conversation that we're having. So, I am in Miami. I am a single mother with no partner, one income, not the same as I used to make before. The cost of living, inflation, raising a daughter by myself. I can't leave Miami. What do I do?
Oh, you can't
What
leave?
if you are my financial advisor? I can't leave. I can't leave right now because I don't know, my mother's sick. My daughter's like finishing high school. I don't know, my job, right? Like I do have a job where I can't make the, let's say I'm making $100,000. Okay. Let's say I'm making a hundred
Okay.
thousand dollars. I
Making a
live in
hundred.
Miami by myself, single
Yeah.
family home, right? With my teenage daughter, who, as you know, with two daughters, the expenses that come with a young daughter, right?
Right. Right. Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're unfortunately you got to live like you're an immigrant. So the daughter, like when I was a kid, I didn't have my own room because we couldn't afford it. So I slept in the same room as my parents,
Me
and that's
too. At one point
remember.
in East Hialeah, it
Yeah.
was no, I'm lying to you. No, 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 no. It was a one bedroom, and then it had like a little loft that you would have to go through up the stairs, go through to go to the only bathroom on the second floor, right? In
Right.
East Hialeah. So they converted that little loft into my bedroom so that I had some kind of privacy with the big ass AC unit on the wall that was like
Yeah.
all night, right? It helped me go to sleep. But anybody that had to go, but then to go to my parents' room, you had to go through the loft or to the bathroom. So I had
Right.
no kind of privacy whatsoever. And then my
Exactly.
brother, my parents had their bed, and then
Uh-huh.
my brother had a little bed next to theirs. And that's how we lived, man. Ghetto fabulous.
Ghetto fabulous. That's unfortunately that's what it is.
No, no.
That,
And then my
but
parents were the managers of the building because it was
right. So you got to
two
break.
homosexual owners that owned the building, vaqueros. Like they were like these cowboys, redneck cowboys. And they didn't speak a lick of Spanish, right? And they bought this unit. It was 8, 10 apartment units, right? 2 floors. We were there forever, my God. So they needed somebody to communicate. So they made my parents the managers of the building. My dad, pobrecito, he wouldn't collect the rent because he was drunk half the time. But my mom would collect the rent. And then, the exchange was they didn't have to pay rent, right? So we lived rent free, and my parents kind of managed the building for them, and everybody gave them rent and everything. So
And that's the trick, right? So you can't live like you're a crypto bro in Miami. You have to live like you're in the ghetto, like you're and but why did they do that? Why did your
and say
parents
and
do that?
save and try to save, right? Like
Save.
the idea
That's where I'm
is,
getting.
how do you
That's where I'm getting.
save?
Your
How
parents
do I
did that.
save?
That's what your parents did the right thing. They lived in a shitty little apartment, and
No, no, no,
their
no.
kids
Their situation was completely different because they couldn't afford anything else. But let's say right now,
it's the
I can.
same. It's
Yeah.
not different.
No,
You
it's not
can't
because I
afford
can't
anything.
I can't afford anything else either.
Exactly.
You're right.
It's the only difference is they just got here to this country, and like the typical person was, let's say they were born here, but the economic problem is the same, right? So the solution is the same. Is the same. You're in a one bedroom, right, or an efficiency, the shittiest, cheapest place that you can afford that's still safe, right? And then your goal is to save money.
Right. And get out and
How do you
eventually get out of Miami, right?
and
Like that's
eventually
like the
get out,
goal.
right?
Yeah.
That's your goal. And so what? How do you do that? You do that by driving the shittiest car that'll get you where it needs
I
to go.
know.
Bicicorre, that's
That was
that's
our car. That was our car growing up.
yeah,
You're
exactly.
like
So
you're like you're like reliving my childhood, man.
all that
We
because
lived
I
in an
lived the same part.
efficiency. We had a piscicorre.
I lived in a I didn't even have I lived on the fourth floor. I didn't have an elevator. We had to walk up
Oh,
the stairs
that's
every day.
rough.
Yeah, and
Oh,
and
you was Paul.
we was Poe. Poe.
Po, po, po.
If I were a
Damn.
boy, I wouldn't have nothing to play with. Um, you think I had GI Joe with the kung fu grip? No, no.
I know. You were beneath us then because my parents bought us all those kind of toys. I
Yeah,
had Cabbage Patch Kids. We had what were
no.
those little Hot Wheels? My brother had all those toys and
Yeah, Hot
everything.
Wheels. Damn. No, we didn't have any of that stuff.
We was Poe class, but we was rich.
Yeah, right. You was the rich of the Poe. You were the best of the worst.
That's
We were the
right.
worst. We
That's
were the
right. No, but
So
it's a conversation that I did have with Sydney, because she's a little like homesick, and I get it. I'm here by myself too, so I totally get it. But I'm also 50 years old, right? So I kind of know how to cope with things a little bit better these days.
right,
She doesn't have a lot of friends here. Neither do I, for that matter, right? Like the people that I know are the people from my job. That's
right.
it,
You just
and
put money in the bank.
that's exactly, but that is what I tell her. I go, we have a beautiful place because we really do. We live in a condominium,
Right.
but it's a beautiful place. Like the place, it's not in a great area, but it's got
Okay.
two swimming pools. It's got a gym. It's super quiet.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's clean. There's always parking. I'm 5 minutes from work, 5 minutes from her school. Like there's that comfort, and then exactly like okay, how are
That's
we?
the
How are we
that's the
stashing?
headspace.
How are we stashing money right now to stay afloat? Right.
That's
So
the
that
headspace you got to get into. If you're gonna make it, if you're gonna move on, you can't have the nice car now. You can't have the two-bedroom apartment now. You know, but if you get into that headspace, it's not a terrible thing. You're doing what you need to do to in order to, how many times did we go out to eat when I was a kid? Once a year, maybe
Bro,
twice.
same. Like I was having that conversation with Mei Ling last night, as a matter of fact. I was like, I think that it was like from my graduation that we went to get pickup from like the Chinese place where
Yeah,
we used to live, because that was like our, our
storage.
our celebration dinner, like where it's like there was a roach in the food kind of place, because
Yeah.
we never went out to eat together. Like I don't have that memory of like, oh, we would go out to eat to let buy an Outback, right? Like what I
Oh,
do
that
with
was
my daughter.
crazy.
I didn't do any of that shit growing up.
No, well, we would like. I remember one dinner from when I was a kid. We went to a Colombian restaurant.
Yeah,
It was
wow.
crazy, and it's like that. That's why they were able to save because they cooked at home.
Yeah.
You got to cook at home. That you just got to go back to the old ways of doing things and save your money.
And and there's there
And it's not
there's
terrible.
there's no, and there's a sense of happiness that I feel that we had back then that we don't have today, because everything today is like keeping up with the Joneses. Like, oh, she's got this car, let me have I need to have this car also, because what are they going to think of me? Or the house that you live in, or
I
right,
don't care.
right, like the
You got to
outfit,
stop
the
caring about that.
purse.
Don't care about that.
No, I
And your
don't.
friends
I
are like, let's go out. You tell them, no, come over to my house.
come over
You
to
know,
my house, I'll get us
bring a couple of
wine, we
beers.
can sit outside, I'll put on music, I'll sing for you if you want, but we're coming to my
Play
house.
dominoes, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what my parents would do. My father used to go to the carniceria in the
Mm.
back of the carniceria, and his friends would be there and
Oh,
drinking beer and playing dominoes in the
yeah.
back of the carniceria. Which, by the way, you bought it at the carniceria, the front, the beers, and then that was their
I don't
Saturday.
know. It was I feel that it was a happier time back then than what it is today. Like people are just living in a bubble of depression.
Right. So we can bring it back. That's how you bring it back.
So living in efficiency, I don't know, Manny. I feel like that would depress me a lot while I'm there, but I'm happy to be out then, and that's one of the reasons why I really, really never say never, right? But I really think I would never live in Miami, never, never again. I don't ever want to go back there. The most that I want to go back there is to visit my family, and that's it. And
Even if I could, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to.
yeah,
There's just nothing here. It's a fake city full of
it's
fake
a
people.
fake city. It's a fake city. That's exactly what it is. And it is statistically now, it is considered the most expensive city in the U.S. It surpassed California.
Yeah, because
That's
of the
insane.
disparity in the cost of living and wages.
That's crazy. That is crazy, dude. That's crazy. Well, at least we were able to experience the better days there, We had some
Yeah,
stories to share.
a good time. What a good
Yeah.
time. But yeah, if you want to do another show, we'll keep it positive, and we'll talk about how to get the hell out of Miami.
Yeah, how to get the hell out of Miami. We'll give you some pointers and tips on how families are doing it, and where are they moving to,
Yeah.
and the job market, right? What's available? What kind of wages are they looking at in order to be able to sustain, their lifestyle and their families and put food on the table, and all that good stuff, right? Like all the necessities, coño, because esos son necesidades. These are all necessities
And
that
there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity outside of here. There's a lot.
that's just it. That's what I always say. I go, oh, que there no hay trabajo. No, no, sí hay trabajo. Lo que la gente no quiere trabajar. You know,
Yeah,
people don't want to put in the work. People don't want to leave their comfort zone. They don't want to leave Miami. But there's plenty of work out there. Look at
plenty
yeah,
of work.
you you
Plenty.
you may need to hustle a little more than you did before. You know?
Yeah. Hey, you want to own a radio station and you don't even speak English? Find a city in bumfuck somewhere that has a large Mexican population where I'm sure you can buy a radio station for 20 grand.
Yeah, yeah. And you'll
You know?
make some money because
Yeah.
those, you know,
You'll
the
be in
the
Idaho. You
Mexicans are gonna be like the Cubans, right? You get a little like old school Cuban music ahí with a wannabe Albarejeles on the air. You're gonna get your loyal. My mom will get on there and she'll be listening to that all day long.
exactly. Hey, but
Yeah.
you'll be in Idaho. You will. But
No, Ohio. You might be
Ohio,
cooking crystal meth from your
you
from your
yeah,
garage,
you
but
might have some meth next door, but you'll have your radio station. You'll make $100,000 a year. You'll only have to spend 30 of it, and in 5 years you'll have, you know, 300 grand in the bank, and now you can go wherever the hell you want.
yeah. Dude, my I'm not gonna say names, right? I'm not gonna say names, but somebody that I know is through the app Roadblocks, right? Met a guy, right? Like they're both very young. Met a guy on Roadblocks and they're dating, right? So they've never met because he lives like por allá, por Ohio or Idaho, around there, right? In the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, oh, let me see the picture. Let me see what the family looks like. Dude, it is like your classic white trash, like no teeth, cigarette in the hand with the fish in the other. Like they
I
cook
love
like they're cooking meth out of their out of their
100%,
kitchen kind of
100% their
thing.
methods. Yeah.
And you're just like, holy shit, this is what you are attracted to? Like what is it about this, right? So but I don't know. I don't
Right.
know, Manny. I don't know. The older I get, the more I feel like I'm gonna be alone forever.
And on that note,
And on that note, but Onana, my friend, we've been talking for a minute. I wanted to get into the whole Perez Hilton topic with you. You got like 15 minutes or
sure,
yeah?
let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's since we're on the topic of depression and mental
Mhm.
health, 2 weeks ago, right, Perez Hilton, the famous blogger, um, clearly was struggling with a complete like psychosis episode where he went ballistic on a live. He's a social media influencer. He considers himself the original influencer, which I think he kind of was because it was when social media really wasn't a thing, and he kind of was at the forefront of like the perezhilton.com and just blogging about celebrities and ripping them apart. Like he was throwing their business out there. He was outing gays,
Yeah.
before they were ready to come out, that it affected their careers. Anyway, so he wasn't a very likable person. And he wasn't the most popular person. He was popular just because people
People
love
love
to
to hate him.
hate, right? So he apparently so he was on TikTok on a live which was on for over 30 minutes and they wouldn't knock him. The guy was completely naked from head to toe and he had a knife and he was just sliced. Did you see the video?
I did not, because by the time you told me about it, I think they had taken it down.
Dude, it's disturbing. It is so disturbing. Like he is covered in blood from head to toe. His face is, and he's slashing himself. I mean, I don't want to get too graphic here in case they take this down, but he's literally like cutting himself all up, saying how pleasurable it feels while he's doing it. He's live streaming on a public platform that's huge, TikTok. They don't take him down. On TikTok, you say Epstein, you say fuck you, and they're knocking you from
Right.
TikTok. They're knocking your
Apparently, you
live,
can
okay?
spice yourself up, and that's fine.
You talk about ingredients for like shampoos that make your hair grow and you talk about they knock your life, okay? Like that's how strict they are with the bots when they're monitoring you. However, this guy was literally trying to commit suicide on a live TikTok for over 30 minutes and they wouldn't knock him, okay? Other
Mhm.
streamers were getting on with him and they were trying to talk him out of it. The guy at one point, the cops are seeing him because his sister apparently is also in the house with his three young children, okay, and she's noticing that because he always had, she says that because she just came out with a statement like 2 or 3 weeks, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, she just came out with a statement saying that yeah, explaining what happened. She was in the house with the children because they didn't know if she was if he was alone or not. So the kids who are super young, like they're like between the ages of like 8 and 12 years old, were in the house with the sister. So the sister says that he always had his bedroom door open, and that day he had his bedroom door closed. So she was knocking on the door. He wouldn't open the door. She was like, "Hey, dude, what's going on?" He wouldn't. He was just like, "I'm fine. Just leave me alone." She goes back to check on him. He's not answering. She goes into his bedroom. He's in the bathroom now. She's knocking on the door. He doesn't answer. She's like, "Listen, if you don't answer the door, I'm going in." She finally goes in. She finds freaking The Walking Dead covered
Mhm.
in blood, and let me tell you, when I first saw the video, I was like, is this shit real? Is this real, or is this like, or is this for clicks, right? Because he's
I never watched him. I never, I know of him. I mean, I know his name's Mario, right? Um,
Kuwanichi, he went to
yeah, yeah.
Belen.
He's a Miami kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't he live in Miami now?
He's in Westchester.
There you go. So, but so what I do know is he's become kind of irrelevant, right?
Well, because first of all, he's hated, right? Because keep calling a baby's my baby ugly. Eventually, I'm gonna be like, you know what? Go kiss my ass, right? Like, stop it.
Yeah,
I'm done with you. Now everybody's an influencer. Think about it. Everybody
right.
has access to social media. Who has more charisma and followers than another person, right? Everybody can kind of put out the same news. Back then, he was at the forefront of everything. That was the difference.
And he's not 20 anymore.
He's not 20. He's older. He's been delisted by a lot of people. They don't like him. So one of the things that happened to him was he caught a cold or something, like 2 months before, 2 or 3 months prior to his incident.
Hmm.
And I guess he was taking like antibiotics on an empty stomach, and he went and his body went into like septic shock, right? And so he almost died. So he was in the hospital for like 21 days. So he met Jesus, right? And it always goes to Jesus. So he met Jesus, and while he was in the hospital, then he got a blood clot on his leg, and so the guy was like contra la muerte twice, right? While at the hospital. So he is now super reformed and ashamed of his past. He's not the same person. And listen, I believe in redemption, and I believe that you can, be a better person and learn from your mistakes. Um, but it doesn't mean that people are going to forget and people are going to forgive, right? Like at this
Right,
point, it's just like, I don't have to like you anymore. You were really mean. You were really fucked up. You never had any compassion or empathy for anybody else. So anyway,
right, right.
with
So
that
people
being
can choose
said,
not to forgive.
right. So with that being said, like he lost a lot of weight. They relocated from Las Vegas to Miami, and word is that it's because he was having so many financial difficulties right now because he's not getting paid like what he used to, right?
Right.
So
So
he
he's in
moved over,
Westchester.
yeah. And then so he came
Crazy.
over here. He lived always with his mother because he has three children from surrogate women, right? So
That's what I was going to ask. I see. I'm looking at the news here now. It says his three kids are being taken care of by his mother.
right. She
Where are
just
the Where are
filed
the
for like temporary custody of the children because if not, they're gonna take away the kids. But
Right?
he's
Where are
the only.
so it's three different mothers.
I think it's two different mothers. I think two are from one, and then the other one is
Okay.
another one. But um, the mother, because his father died years ago, I guess. So the mother has always lived with him. He has a sister, and she's helped him raise his children. But the mother wanted to also come back to Miami because she's getting older, y la familia, the whole thing. And I get it,
Sure.
the whole dynamic. So word is that one of the reasons why he chose to come back is because he's struggling financially so much, and he was able to put his house on the market over there in Vegas, which he loved because he was getting comped over there. Vegas is it's a whole nother
Vegas doesn't care
city,
how
right?
much of an asshole you are. Yeah.
So when he was in Vegas, he was going out, he was getting comped. He was still kind of living like a celebrity over there, and then he comes to Miami now. He's putting his $4 million house on the market, and his mom is ecstatic. The children are happy. Little kids are little kids. They're going to be happy, the family, the whole thing. But I
Sure.
guess over here, he wasn't being received with a lot of love and warmth, So that
Well,
also took a toll on him.
well, and people, celebrities in particular, come to Miami because nobody gives a shit.
Hmm.
They don't bother them here. Like
Right,
Miami, New
right.
York have that in common. You can be walking down the street, you're Brad Pitt, and very few people are
I
going to
don't,
come up.
I feel like I would jump on Brad Pitt if he was walking by me.
Oh, okay.
No, but you're right, right? Like you're walking down the street and a celebrity's walking by you, and you'll be like, oh shit, was that Brad Pitt?
Yeah. Right. What's up, Brad?
If you even do that, right? Like you're
If you
almost
even do
like
that.
you're almost like respectful of them, like oh like they're with their family. Let's not bother them.
Exactly. Here on my street, Ben Affleck used to live here. All these celebrities live here. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you don't care. I care. But yeah, so the cops showed up because the sister leaves the house when she sees that freaking movie. When she
uh,
opens up that bathroom door, the guy's like covered in blood, right? Slashed up from head to toe. You have to see the video. Like it's bad, right? It looks like something out of like one of those gory horror movies, like Bloody Mary, whatever.
okay.
And grabs all the kids, takes the kid out of the house, right, so that they don't see that. Calls the cops, says, "I need you to come over here. This and this is happening. I need you to take the kid so that I can go back inside, so she can talk him out of the bathroom."
Talking
Right,
down, yeah.
right. So the cops get there. They stay with the children. They go back, and then you see the cops through the window. El tipo está en cuero. He's butt naked. At one point, I thought he was even like masturbating because he's like, "Oh, this feels so good," and I'm just like, "Is this guy like jerking off or something?"
It's
And
crazy.
he was talking about like the slashes, how good it felt to him, how painful it was, but how good it felt. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. So anyway, the cops are you see the cops, they're videotaping him through the bathroom window. He's butt naked, covered in blood. And he's just like, yeah, come on, kill me, motherfucker. What does he call himself? Like he's a loser, he's
Mhm.
a parasite, The guy's he feels like a failure. He feels like a failure, had a complete mental breakdown. And they say that when you go into septic shock, like what happened to his body, a psychosis breakdown usually follows after. Like it has something to do with the biology of what happens to your body and how it affects your brain. So that could have been it also. It could have been a spiritual awakening. Then you get into that whole part of it. They're saying he got possessed by demons. Now they're saying that it's a ritual because he's trying to get back into Hollywood. So this is what they told him he had to do in order to get the views and the attention, and they'll bring him back in because it's a
That's
big
all of that
cult.
is possible. That's the problem. The problem is that all of that is possible, and that
Right,
this whole
right. Like,
thing.
what do you believe, right?
Exactly. And professional wrestlers used to do it all the time. Where if you take a very sharp blade like one of these things, and you just slice it across the front of your forehead, the blood that gushes is scary. But it's
Yeah.
a little cut. It doesn't do anything.
You
And
mean
then and then
you mean that wrestling was fake?
no, no.
You mean Hulk
But
Hogan was a fake? He was a phony?
no, no. Hulk Hogan's dead. But
I know.
yeah,
Pobrecito. I used to like him.
yeah. What again, I haven't seen the video, so I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass.
Yeah,
But
and again, I thought the same thing also. I was like, you're right, or did he throw shit on himself, right? Like I could very easily throw
who
some,
knows?
you know,
Because those cuts, from what I hear, you can make it and it'll close up like immediately, but then you just hit yourself
and it
and
opens
it
up
starts
and you bleed.
gushing blood, and it covers your face. It looks like Carrie. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
that Carrie, that's the movie that he looks like. That's the movie right there, Carrie, like covered in blood. It's
But you
disturbing.
could see him head to toe, and he was cutting himself in other
Yeah, and
places.
they blurred out his pecker, because he was
Uh-huh.
butt naked also. So it's like, I get that he's extravagant and he loves the attention because you have to keep that in mind. He loves the attention. His family's asking for privacy now for the family, and it's like he never gave anybody any privacy either.
Right.
He is in a mental facility now through the Florida Baker Act system, as expected, right? If there's any, truth to any of this that's taking place.
Uh-huh.
So, heavily medicated. He needs to have surgery for the cuts because apparently he did hurt himself pretty badly, so he needs some kind of surgery. They haven't said what it is yet.
Stitches?
Um,
I have you stitches or surgery, I
Coño, pero
guess.
surgery, stitches is stitches. Surgery is different. Like, did
Well,
he?
that if you're a marketing person and you're this is a fake thing, then stitches are surgery.
So supposedly he's gonna be in the hospital in the mental facility seeking treatment for months, is what they're saying. Mama, wait if it's true or not, right? Let's see now if he
Well,
comes out on
let's
how much.
see.
Because listen, if you wanted everybody talking about you, you got the attention. You did it, right? Like because
Yeah.
everybody and their mother is talking about him right now. So if that's what he
Oh,
was looking for, and hopefully he didn't fake that because if he did, they really do need to remove his children because clearly he is not right. You know, Guaguera has a mental breakdown because of personal issues that could be happening, or like right, the septic if through a septic shock, right, affecting your brain or whatever. If there's any truth to that, coño, you can also be like, okay, listen, this is like a medical thing. Like there's some historic background, saying that there is truth to this, but for attention, you go to this degree with children. If he was single, he's gay, he's single, right? He loves the attention.
yeah, he's by himself.
I'll be
Yeah.
like, you know what, man, dude, that was fucked up, but okay,
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
you went all out, really, okay. But with your three little kids in the house, that's what makes me think, because he seems like he
yeah.
was a doting father, you know. And I think the fact that his children were in the house and the sister had to take him out, that's where I'm like, dude, I don't think he was faking this. I think that he really did have a complete mental breakdown.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I don't know. There's no evidence. There, as someone who's completely ambivalent about it, but knows how these things work. One of the two could be true. Maybe he went. Maybe it started as fake and he took it too far.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just genuine, and he had a mental breakdown.
Time will tell. We will
You're
get the
saying,
answers unless
maybe
unless
literally,
something happens to him in the hospital. We'll definitely get some answers.
you know,
Eventually he's gonna talk and he's gonna go on the news, right? And he's gonna, they're gonna make a movie about him. I think he's gonna get what he wanted. Pobrecito. You know what? I wish him well. Pobre. I
yeah,
feel I
yeah.
feel really
Nobody
really
wants
bad
that.
for the children. They're young. The internet is unforgiving, and that will be out there for the rest of his life. And those kids are always gonna see that, and people will always bring that up to those children. And that's a hard thing to hear about your father.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody wants to hear
And,
that.
and, did he actually have an actual overdose?
Bueno, también, right? Because when you see it, that was the first thing that went through my mind too. I was like, this guy's on something. This guy like
So
smoked something, right? Like took a pill. Like this guy's high. Like something is
wrong.
he's tripping.
Yeah,
He's tripping balls right now. Like something's going on for him to get to this point of delusion. And then, of course, if he was already struggling with any kind of depression because of everything that he was going through before, oh yeah, financial worries will break a person.
yeah. Especially when he starts to think about how he squandered everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that will literally like kill a person, right?
Yeah.
If you can't pay your bills, if you can't support your family, your children, shit.
Or
I
you
know
were
that
up here, and now suddenly you see yourself in whichever.
that's gotta be hard. That's gotta be really, really hard, right? When you were at that level, exactly. And now oh yeah, he was living from being in Hollywood and rolling with like Paris Hilton and Madonna. Coño, Lady Gaga and him were like this at one point. From that to living in Westchester in Miami, that's a
It's
hit,
rough.
man.
That's rough. That's rough.
That's a
But
hit.
I mean, you can't blame anyone but himself
Yeah,
for
for
that
sure.
part. You know. But I don't.
Pero nada, Manny, we've talked a lot of shit already. Thank you for hopping on with me. Yeah, I want to get back into the groove of podcasting again. Took a little
So
bit of
we'll set something up and we'll make it positive next time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The next one
All
because
positive.
it thought Debbie Downer,
I know.
like,
All good. The next one, all good.
I mean, it was constructive. I feel a little bit, talk about the real estate market. I mean, it's the reality of what's happening. But yeah, yeah, we got to come up with some happy shit. I don't know. We can talk about penguins or something. No sé.
Uh, Lizards.
Dale, my friend. We'll talk. Okay.
Okay. Talk to you
Bueno,
soon.
dale. Un besito. Bye.